Hello, people. It's your boy Osman back again with another Manchester United podcast. It feels like it's been a while since I've hosted the show. Jerry is going to come on the show as well, but he's not on hosting duties finally. But listen, we've got a lot to discuss. Manchester United's emphatic comeback, saving Ollie's job. Listen, saving Private Ryan, haven't got anything on saving Ollie's job. This guy's got so many lives. I've lost count. At 2-0 down at halftime, we thought this man was done. But Ollie said, not today. Not today. And look, listen, there's a lot to discuss. Ronaldo coming in clutch with another big goal for him. Obviously, if you're new, make sure you drop a like. Subscribe to the channel. Obviously, turn post notification on as always. Make sure you follow everyone who is coming up, obviously, very shortly. The links are down below to their YouTube channel. Go and subscribe to their channel. But without further ado, I'm going to play to you the lovely intro. Okay, I thought I was going to play the bloody intro. It's working. Come on, son. Right, okay, the intro's not working. It doesn't want to come on. I'll sort it out very shortly. I got Rashford's goal on there as well, which is peak. But listen, enough waffling. Let me get you the guests on. Make sure you get your comments in. I'll sort that intro out very shortly because I gotta abuse Rashford's goal against Trent because it's gonna be Rashford against Trent against 2.0. But listen, without further ado, let me get to you, our guest. First and foremost, the co-host, the homie. Jerry's in the building. Jerry, how are you doing? I don't know what's happened to the video. I was looking forward to seeing Rashford's Ronaldo chart, but I'll have to sort it out. But Jerry, how are you doing, brother?
Bro, I'm good, but it was actually working. I don't know why you stopped.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Listen, my stream detail, whatever it is, it's not working, man. It's not working. So I do apologize if you guys were enjoying that.
Do you want me to run it or?
Yeah. Listen, just run it. We gotta see Rashford's chart, man. You put it on because obviously my settings are best.
Let's try
Cue
that.
The intro. Cue the intro. Let's try it one more time.
There we go.
Yes, yeah. Listen, it's not working. I haven't seen any of it, you know.
Oh.
I swear, it's not working for me at all. But listen,
mad.
Let's get our special guest. Kojo obviously is normally meant to be here, but he's not here today. We did have Kish coming on to replace Kojo, but just like his manager, he's bottled it. Obviously, standard Ollie. You know, it's in the genetics. But listen, she was up for awards. She's one of the homies. I love her content. I watch it religiously. Listen, she just knows. She's got the knowledge. She's got the passion. You love to see it. Next year, she will be award winning. So make sure you're ahead of the curve. We have got the lovely Alice Talks Football in the building. Alice, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. Thank you for the intro. Nice intro that. I'm doing good because we won. I still want Ollie to go. I'm still Ollie out, but I didn't want us to lose. As much as I want Ollie to go, I do not want us to lose because the thing is, I said this earlier, if we get knocked out of the Champions League for 2 years in a row, it's going to be the Arsenal fans loving it. It's going to be their trophy if we get knocked out of the Champions League because they'll love it, even though they're not in it. And I was like, I'm glad I've got that 3 points. Made my day a lot better.
No, listen, I completely agree with you. I saw facts. I saw a stat actually, because obviously, the new generation loves stats. Harry Maguire scored more. I mean, I said the stat anyways, but Harry Maguire scored more goals than Arsenal played in the Champions League in the last 5 years. So you lot stay in your lane. You mans aren't even in the competition. As Chris Brown said, you man can't even get in. So stay where you belong, outside of Europe. You're not even in the Europa League. You're not even in the Conference League. So just relax with the Champions League tour. You mans have not heard Champions League music for a long time, unless you're watching another team or you're playing it on YouTube. So just relax with the banter. It's embarrassing now. You're clutching at straws. You know we're near us, man. Relax. But listen, let's get into some of the comments before we get into the show. First and foremost, obviously, I will put this comment down. Firstly, welcome to the channel if you are new. Obviously, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. As I've already said, everyone's links are down below. Make sure you do subscribe to their channel. Obviously, both these two individuals have supported my channel for a long period now. And obviously, they're basically family. So if you're supporting me, you need to go and support them as well. That's how we do it here. Big Ron is in the building. I'm expecting a lot of Sancho. Big Ron's ready. Big Ron doesn't like Sancho, so I'm expecting him to be asking questions regarding that. Diego's in the building. GS is in the building. Eddie, even sorry. Shout out to you, my brother. Thank you. Obviously, make sure you follow Eddie too. Drop a like. Obviously, myself and him will be doing the preview on Flying Pigs channel tomorrow at 6 o'clock. So make sure you tune in for that. I do apologize if I've missed any comments. Red Devil Studio Jones and Hot 6
I saw that.
Listen, that's always
that's mad.
That always cheers me up. I love Jose, but it's just good, isn't it? It's just good to laugh at other people and then when your team's suffering. And mad live line. Doesn't make sense. Live panel lineup. Yeah, there we go. I got them there. I can't read today quite clearly. But anyways, let's get into the show. We're gonna quickly recap yesterday's game first and foremost. As you've already said, Alice, it was a major 3 points. I saw at halftime we were actually at the bottom of the table. And I was sat there like, this is beyond embarrassing now. There's no way we should be at the bottom of the group, Jerry. But, what did you make of it? Obviously, there's a lot to discuss. But what's your overall opinion? Obviously, Alice has already alluded to the fact that we needed the 3 points badly.
Yeah. Even prior to the game, I predicted a loss, man. I was not confident.
I can't hear Jerry at all. Am I the only one?
I can hear him.
Oh God, my audio
every time.
I'm gonna leave, Jerry. You keep going, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, as I was saying, Alice. Prior to the game, I wasn't confident, man, because the way we've been playing, the form, the conceding chances. I thought Atalanta, they're known for scoring goals, the high press, and lo and behold, going 2-0 down. I thought, oh mate, bottom of the group. This could be sticky. And I honestly didn't see us coming back. I didn't, because I thought 2-0 is a bit of a big stretch, but Oli must have said something to them at halftime, because that second half was just scenes, man. Like, people don't want to give him credit for the team talk, but he must have said something, because it was a different team. And even in the first half, as much as we was losing 2-0, I didn't think we played that bad. I mean, we had 4 or 5 chances where Rashford should have stuck at least one of them away. But yeah, second half, obviously we need to concede for us to start playing. And yeah, man, first goal, Rashford. I said Rashford involved FC. Usman, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, bro. I just said.
I told you about Rashford. Rashford is the key for this team, man.
What did you tell me about Rashford? Let the people know in case they're not aware.
So basically, obviously, people were kind of not getting onto him, but they'll criticize him like for last season and saying, his IQ's a bit this, he doesn't make the right decision. But I always said, listen, with Rashford on the pitch, he's always involved, man. And look at he's come back to the team. He played 2 games. Well, he's played 2 games, got 2 goals already. Certain man, obviously big run. You're gonna get into Sancho. He hasn't done anything. And Rashford's come back 2 goals. The runs in behind, so needed, man. Most of our chances, that's how it came. And then you look at his goal. But as soon as he sees Bruno's about to collect the ball, he's off his back. Great run. Bruno plays him in. Composure. He slots it home, and I'm thinking, yes, Rashford, we need you, especially for Sunday. We need him for Sunday. And hopefully he's not injured. Obviously, he came off with a knock. Hopefully he's fine. And then the second goal, Big H. He missed the header just before. I was thinking, bro, this guy will never score from a set piece. And then he goes and scores that like a striker's finish. I'm thinking, what the hell? And then the main man, bruv. This guy keeps doing.
Don't worry, we'll get into it.
Listen,
I'm all the topics in one.
I'm buzzing though.
I don't even know where to start, because you've gone through literally all.
Sorry, but I'm buzzing. Like Alice said, I didn't want us to lose. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not Ollie's not the right person for this job. He's not. But how could you be a fan and want us to lose? Like, I don't understand. Certain men are doing watch-alongs, wanting us to lose. That doesn't make any sense. What are you watching for? You might as well check on your phone what the result was and then keep it moving. But like you said, we needed that win, man. Now we're top of the group, which is a bit mad. But, Ollie always says, win your home games. We've won both of us. Hopefully, Atalanta away is going to be tough. But Yeah, man, we need to get out of this group. Need to. After last season, if we do it again and get out, he has to go, man. But listen, I'm buzzing, man. Roll on Sunday.
Jeez, roll on Sunday with confidence, you know. Listen, keep getting your comments, and obviously I'm reading them. This one just cracked me up. I don't really know why. Did Ollie play Gary Neville's interview at half time? Honestly, I don't really want to get into Gary Neville because I could probably sat here for 30 minutes because I can't stand him at the moment. But obviously, it is what it is. Scholes, obviously, on the other hand, starting to talk facts. Just keep any questions. Obviously, if you've got any questions, I'll try my best to get through the comments. But Alice, I kind of want you to come. Let's just touch up on the Ollie thing first before we go to Rashford, etc. Because I do want to talk about Rashford in particular. Obviously, Jerry said that Ollie won us the game with his halftime team clothes. That's kind of what you said, isn't it? Or am I misphrasing you?
Yeah, I'm giving him some credit because people don't want to give him nothing.
Alice, what are your thoughts on Ollie's management of that game? I'm just throwing it out there. Man's laughing. Right. What are your thoughts, Alice? Because I've seen your management. What are your thoughts of Ollie's management, Alice?
It's so mixed because that was such a mixed game. For 45 minutes, I was like, you're getting sacked in the morning, you're getting sacked in the morning. And then I was like, all right, this could be, you know how Jose Mourinho had his Newcastle game when we went 2-0 down and then we won 3-2. I was like, oh, this could be that game. I have to say, the starting 11, I knew that was what he was going to do. And I was like, fuck's sake. I knew what we were getting with that starting 11. McTominay, Fred, Lindelof, Maguire. Sit as deep as you can, all of that, concede 2 goals, defensive protection from Fred. No, they don't. It was kind of expected, but I'm Ollie out. But to give Ollie credit where credit is due, he had to have said something at half time that changed the game, because the contrast between the first and the second half was absolutely, we were really good in the second half. And when we beat Atalanta and we were 1-0 down and we turned on and we won, we didn't deserve to win. But I actually do feel like this was the game where we deserved to win. And I think when you win a game where you feel like you had the better chance, you deserve to win. I'm not going to say individual brilliance got Ollie out of jail. I think he said something at half time and it changed. And I was convinced that the players weren't playing for Ollie anymore. I was so convinced. When Pogba made those comments after the Leicester game about something he says, like, that's it, he's lost the dressing room. But actually, there was a response. Obviously you'd expect that. Obviously Atalanta were wide open at the back, and maybe it needed those substitutions to get McTominay off and get Pogba on to maybe get us clicking going forward. But I think we deserve to win the game. I'm Ollie out, and you should be beating Atalanta anyway. 5 key players injured, and they play very similar to Leeds. So I'm not. This could be a Leeds game where it's just an anomaly because they play to our hands, all the space at the back, going in behind, and all of that. But I will give Ollie credit for what he did at halftime. He definitely changed the game, had an impact on the game. But at the end of the day, you should be beating Atlanta anyway. We shouldn't be going 2-0 behind anyway in that manner.
Yeah, I mean, Scholes kind of alluded to that after the game, didn't you? Obviously, Rio Ferdinand. There are 2 fans out there. One was on one side of the spectrum, the other one was on the other side. Scholes kind of been more pessimistic in his approach of, his reaction to the game. He kind of alluded to the fact that, Atlanta 5 key players out. They have in particular the defenders. Is it Demiral? I don't know how to pronounce his name. The one that scored the header. He got taken off. So basically, they had the 3 first choice centre backs out injured. I might not capitalize on that, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to do that in the Champions League. No games are going to be easy. I understand I had a lot of key players out, and I would have expected Man United to beat them off that news itself. But you have to go and get the job done. So I think the players do deserve a lot of credit because, as you said, Alice, I thought they were playing for the manager as well after Leicester because that was absolutely embarrassing. But they've shown that they still have some heart and pride. However, the only thing, and again, I don't want to take away from Ollie because, obviously he made the substitutions. The only thing is, I heard a lot of people saying a lot of it was down to professional pride as well. I mean, this is just speculation, isn't it? At the end of the day, you can either say they played for Ollie or it's, personal pride because if we lose that game at half-time, obviously if we were sat at the bottom, if we lose that game, we're practically out of the Champions League. Of course, it's not a foregone conclusion, but we would have had to win the last 3 games realistically to get through the group. And for me personally, a lot of those players potentially could have just upped their game on a selfish level. Like even then, that's a problem in itself if that is the case, because that's the level that they should be playing anyways, regardless. So my question to you guys is, in terms of the second half, don't worry, I have seen your question, Big Ron. In terms of the second half, Jerry, Obviously, we know the first half was a shambles defensively, but in terms of the second half, where has that performance been? Why did we perform so bad? It's we can sit here and say Oli, got into him, etc. I'm sure he did, but why is that not happening consistently? Why, or even flashes of that? We haven't seen anything remotely close to the intensity, the sheer desire to win the game. Like, the players wanted to win the game, and that was evident. Like, where has that performance been throughout the entirety of the season?
I couldn't tell you, man. But just to say, I think the first half, I didn't think we was bad though. Like, we should have been out of sight first half with the chances we had. Obviously, Fred, he had that where it fell to the wrong player. Like I said, Rashford should have got. He was through one-on-one like 3 times, and he's lost his lines. So the game could have been totally different if we just took our chances. But I mean, the 2 goals we conceded, again, the set pieces, the clean sheets are just hard to come by. I don't know what's going on with the new set piece coach and what's happening with that. But like you said, I don't know why United do this, man. Like we've shown it in the past 2 seasons. Every time these comebacks, it's gonna run out. Like, we can't keep doing this. Like, it's good. I'm buzzing, but
it's the best way to win a game, isn't it?
Of course. But like, there's gonna be times when we won't have enough time. Like, you saw Leipzig last year when we got knocked out of the Champions League. We nearly did it again, but it just didn't come through. And if we go 2-0 down to Liverpool, I don't see us coming back, because Liverpool won't allow it with their defense and their intensity. I don't see us.
They did against Atletico Madrid, just throwing it out there. They did drop a 2-0 lead.
That's true, but
listen, Jerry, we got to be positive. We got to cling on to any hope that we've got.
I don't know, man. Obviously, buzzing for the game, but when you sit down and you calm down and deep who we've got on Sunday, it's time to analyze and say, yo, that's when Scholes was talking yesterday, I fully understood where he was coming from, because we're happy that we've won, but against the top teams, you can't start like that, man, because it's gonna bite you. But I don't know, man. Like, is it the players? Is it the manager?
I mean, I think I know what the problem is, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna just quickly let you know, Ron, regarding this question here. What is a better pivot? We will explain that later. Myself and Jerry will go through in detail with the issues of obviously what happened at Leicester. We've got a little graphic. I say graphic, one image, but obviously we'll answer that question there. So please bring it back up, because it's a fantastic one. The thing for me, Ran, and this is my honest opinion, and obviously you guys pull me up if you think this is BS, right? So the first half to me demonstrated Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a manager in terms of tactically, right? That was Ole's plan. That first half was Ole's plan. Obviously, the players let him down to an extent, individual errors, etc. That's the standard with Man United at the moment. The second half was Ole taking the handbrake off, because he had absolutely no choice but to throw caution at the wind. He had no choice. We were 2-0 down at half time. If we continued the way we were going, we weren't going to pull it back. It was as simple as that. We had to win that game. I think every fan in the stadium knew that, hence the booed at half time. And Ole knew we had to win that game. We were sat bottom of the table. And Ole thought, just forget about it. Let's throw caution to the wind and let's just go for the game. Let's put them under pressure and let's throw people forward. You saw, and I want to use Pogba as an example. I know all the individual players were brilliant, such as Bruno in the second half, who was absolutely phenomenal for me. I was criticizing him a lot in the first half, and I hold my hands up. He proved me wrong in the second half. But Pogba, for me, that run that he made, right, when he rode the first challenge, did the second guy, and then played the pass to Luke Shaw on the left wing. That just emphasizes what Paul Pogba's about, his ability to drive from deep. And under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Pogba doesn't get to do that. The only time Pogba gets to do that and drive forward the ball is when we're losing. That's the only time. If you go back to the games when Pogba's been fantastic, is when he's been pushed to the final third. You saw yesterday, Pogba and Bruno in the final third together were absolutely unplayable. They couldn't get out. Like, we literally had them penned back for most of the game. I know they had a couple of chances Zapata, who had a bit of success. He's going to do that because he's quite quick. He's a physical presence, etc. But the point being is we sustained attacks because the plan went out the window because we're 2-0 down. The plan initially was to obviously be conservative, press. I thought we started okay, but overall, his planning was the same as it always is, very cautious. don't overcommit people forward. Second half, he had no choice. He had to commit half the team forward. He subbed on Cavani, he subbed on Sancho, he subbed on Pogba, and he had played with one DM. It was Fred and Pogba for large parts of the game in the last 30 minutes. And what happened? We absolutely battered them. And it was inevitable that Man United were going to win that game. As soon as we got the first goal, the crowd was up, our tails were up, and Manchester United did what they do best, which is come back. And for me, Ollie has to look at that as a blueprint. I am not saying that obviously you do that against Liverpool, but against the teams that we should be beating, that should be the blueprint. Why are we allowing teams to settle into games like we did in the first half? Don't get me wrong, we started okay, but again, we seem to give teams respect at Old Trafford, like allow them to have the ball for some reason. In the second half, we didn't allow them to do anything. We pressed them. We won the ball up. Fred, to be fair to him, did well in the second half. He was harrying people. He was pressing from the front. Ronaldo's even running back. These men wanted it in the second half desperately. And for me personally, that is basically showing me what Manchester United Football Club can be under a proper potent coach. The second half, that is a potent coach with the players we got, because that's what we should be doing. Look who's on the pitch, and they could not deal with us. And for me, that just further emphasizes that Ollie is not the guy, because a proper attacking coach, I'm not saying week in, week out, but that is what I would expect from Man United with the players we got. So that is my personal opinion. I'm going to pass it to you, Alex. I know I've gone on for a while there. But, you know, obviously, just quickly, shout out David De Gea as well. Doesn't get the respect he deserves on Twitter. For some reason, people are saying he's not had a good season. Absolute myth. Save that ass once again. That would have been 3-1. But, Alex, obviously, that's my personal opinion. I don't want to have a dig at Ollie, but that's just how I saw it. What do you make of that?
No, like I 100% understand where you're coming from, you know, and Atalanta's not the only example of that. How many games last season were we going in a goal behind at half time? A lot. I mean, there's the Southampton, the 2-0, there was a West Ham game, there was I think maybe a Burnley game, a Spurs game. So many games where we've come out and we see 45 minutes of shit. And the first 45 minutes that we always see in those games is what Ollie wanted, is Fred, is Maguire, Lindelof, deep game, not putting much pressure on, passing poor. And then all of a sudden, Ollie's got nothing to lose. We have to go out and attack, and we're a different team. And Manchester United is about, look at the attackers we have, look at the attackers we have. We should be playing attacking football. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is become a very, very cautious manager. You know, especially now his job's on the line, you know he's going to be cautious. And he plays trying not to lose football. That's why his subs are sometimes questionable. You know, you're trying to get a goal against Leicester, you bring on McTominay, makes us worse. You know, he's a very, very safe manager. And, you know, we do play negative. We do play defensive football. We don't play the best football we can play. But then when he's losing, he has nothing else but to say, let's go for it, let's attack. And whenever we attack, we play well. Like, whenever we play on the front of the football, we play well, and I don't get why he doesn't play more of it. And I really wish Ollie would see it and actually start playing attacking football. But we know that Ollie doesn't see them. But Fred's the problem. He still likes them. We know after all the games last season, even though Bailly proved that he was probably doing a better job than Inzoff, Bailly never got a chance. Donny doesn't get a chance. Ollie won't change, and that's what infuriates me, because what he's doing it's going to get him sacked. This same negative Fred football. Pogba and Fred just a level above McFred. I actually think that Fred isn't a CDM, but Fred's better than McTominay. Fred and Pogba's better than McTominay and Pogba in terms of Fred's defensive work. And I actually thought Fred was all right, actually. I thought he was one of our better players. McTominay, invisible. I thought Fred was all right. And I just want to see better football. And I know Ollie's not going to change it, and he's probably going to eventually get sacked, because I think Atalanta are like a Leeds. They gave us the space. But I'm hoping one thing, though, is with Rashford back, though, because we do play counter-attacking over-the-ball football. Rashford is key to counter-attacking over-the-ball football because of his blistering pace, because of the runs he makes. And I do think maybe, Ollie's tactics works better with a fit Rashford. But I agree with what Usman was saying.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of obviously what you're saying, regarding this, you mentioned the Southampton game. I think that's the best example of what we're saying. 2-0 down, he's forced to put Cavani on, and we look like a completely different team in our second half. Obviously, we win that game 3-2 as well. I mean, it's not the first time it's happened where we've thrown caution to the wind. And I understand that there's a comment here about Big Run saying Pogba already did it against tired legs. He did do it against Leicester. We will get onto that Leicester game because, of course, that was absolutely atrocious in terms of the double pivot, etc., etc. But in terms of this, the caution that Ollie has, that is the reason that he's going to lose his job for me personally. Let's get onto the double pivot, Jerry. Just briefly. Scott McTominay, I'm someone who's spoken vocally in his defense, let's be real, on numerous occasions. But what I always say consistently is that he's a brilliant squad player. Why is he playing week in, week out? The guy has shown time and time again that he's scared to get on the ball. He shies away from responsibility. And as Ali said, Fred actually had a decent game. I was very, very critical of Fred as well, actually. But when I look back at the game, Fred actually was better than I initially gave him credit for. But Jerry, what are your thoughts on the double pivot? I mean, we've had this conversation about a billion times. Obviously, we've got Liverpool. Is Pogba capable of playing in that position for Manchester United?
It's a tough one. I actually kind of agree with Big Ron when he said the Pogba with the tired legs, because it's true. When he started against Leicester, I didn't see what he's capable of. And
is he getting the license to do that? That's not my genuine question. Do you think has he got the license to actually do the marauding runs? I know obviously the game is more stretched, so it's obviously easy for him. Yeah. Of course, we know that. But does he have that license to really join the attack and actually try? Because for me, and again, I don't want to cut you off, but every time I see Pogba play in the defensive or the double pivot, so to speak, he just sits there. Like, he doesn't actually get forward and join attacks.
I think that's part of Ollie's tactics, though, because if he does do that and leaves his partner, then it's like the partner's by himself. And Pogba, for me, he's not his concentration defensively is not the best. So when he's playing on the double pivot, it's like, does he just sit there and just cover space, or does he, like you said, is he afforded the freedom to go and join in the attack, which he's not? So it's like, what do you do with him? So I understood why he got left out yesterday, because you knew Scott and Fred were playing and Rashford back on the left. But I think not Pogba's that he's a problem. It's just with the formation we play, it's hard to put him in with Ollie tax, because he has to go with energy, desire, legs, whatever that quote is.
I mean, that's the most perfect unintentional segue you've ever done, Jerry. If you want to get the image out now of the formation that we are currently playing under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, just whilst he shares that, obviously, if you are joining us for the first time, please do subscribe to the channel. Very close to 1.2k, and obviously, if you haven't already, slap a like. We are going to quickly just go through the Leicester. I think it was the Leicester game, was it? Or was it the first half? It might have been the first half of the Atlanta game, actually. Just from the tactical standpoint, because I'm someone, obviously, I don't know if you guys can see this clearly or not. Hopefully, you guys can at home. But as you can see from this graphic, shout out BT. I'm going to quickly shout you guys out, because if you copyright strike me for this, because these guys have been violating me on Twitter. It's the reason I lost my Twitter account, but it is what it is. But so as you can see from the image, 4-2-4 was the formation. I mean, this is Paul Scholes' analysis. This was from after the game on BT Sports. And Scholes kind of basically ripped this formation, a new one. I mean, there's no way in God's given earth, right, that you can play a 4-2-4. And for me personally, I've said this consistently, and this is why I was critiquing Bruno Fernandes in particular against Leicester and against Atlanta, is his positioning. I mean, I'm assuming this is the tactical thing, so I can't be too harsh on him. But please, someone explain to me, Jerry or Alice, why is Bruno Fernandes not stood next to where the referee is? Because he should be in the midfield as a 3. Like, for me, the midfield could arguably go to a flat 3 if you wanted to, be compact and not make it so easy for teams to play against us. I mean, with this formation 4-2-4, not only has the 2 players in the middle of the park got no options to pass to, but they're going to quite easily get bypassed, because obviously the opposition are playing with 3 midfielders. So it's always an overload in the favour of the opposition. So, Alice, what are your thoughts firstly on the 4-2-4? Because, I mean, I didn't even know that existed apart from on FIFA. Like, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's space in the midfield in the middle there. Like, it doesn't work.
It's about 60 yards space between Fred and Bruno. It's outrageous.
I know. It's like you can only play a 4-2-4 if you're like desperate. Do you know what I mean? You're desperate. if you look at all the good teams, it is a 4-3-3, three midfielders. It's definitely tactical. Bruno only comes out wide when we're sort of in possession, and then I don't like it, and it's just a problem because it's like a back six, Fred. They're like a back six. It's four attackers and a back six. It's practically a 6-4. It's just like they're so deep, McTominay and Fred. So then either the attack has to come deeper, or we just give the opposition a space, and it's like it just does not work. You if you play two players in a pivot, one of them needs to be forward. Do you know what I mean? It needs to be CDM box to box cam. Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean this is the problem for me. And a lot of people are saying Pogba deficiencies defensively, and I'm not going to sit here and defend Pogba because I feel like he's proven time and time again he can't be a liability defensively. However, if you're setting up like this, you are giving him absolutely no chance to defend. Because if you go to the Leicester game, it was exactly the same scenario. It was Pogba and Matic against three midfielders in Leicester in Samare, Tillemans, and I can't remember what the third one was, Maddison. Them three against Pogba and Matic. Of course they're going to get overrun. They got quality and they're getting bypassed. Like, Jerry, just quickly, right? Because obviously people talk about the press, right? People talk Manchester United don't press. You would tell me, right, if a team is pressing you like this, bro, how are you not going to get through? Look at the space between where Rashford is. I think it might be Greenwood at the moment in this picture. He's near their top centre back, and look at the space between him and Fred. You would tell me how you can defend off the ball. We get bypassed so easily at the moment. How is that logical? Like how does that even make sense?
You know what? I'm not even mad about this. Tactic or whatever it is. It's just it's not implemented properly. It's basically we're trying to do a high press, but we're in a low block. So it's like that's why the gap is there. Like if we push up as a team, but because Maguire and Lindelof are so slow and why we tend to go deep, then Fred and Scott are basically trying to protect that space, which then leaves that space in the middle. Like when I look at this picture, if Bruno's not there, then who's supposed to be there? Who's going to press the right side? Because you can see one beside.
For me personally, Bruno's not meant to be there at all. I do not want to see Bruno Fernandes on the right wing in the defensive system. I don't know if you guys can see, obviously, because we are on the smaller screen. But where the referee is, practically on the centre circle, that is where Bruno Fernandes should be stood. Bruno Fernandes should be on this middle of the pitch, basically pressing from that area. Greenwood needs to be where Bruno is. I don't understand why Greenwood and Rashford are almost playing two up front. Like it's a complete shambles. Ronaldo's currently on the left wing. Rashford and Greenwood are playing two up top. Like it's not Dwight York and Andy Cole with Beckham and Giggs. Like I don't understand what's going on. We've got a 36-year-old on the left wing, and we've got a Cam who is predominantly meant to be in the middle of the park, playing right wing, covering Rashford or Greenwood. It just doesn't make sense. And this is the problem. People keep saying about, obviously the personality issue or Pogba and Bruno can't play. If you set up like this, they can't play together. You're correct, because you're leaving the midfield exposed completely. Like if Bruno just tucks in next to Fred, for example, yeah. Let's say Bruno tucks in and they go to a flat three and in the defensive shape, and Greenwood actually goes back to his position, which is where Bruno is currently stood. Then it would completely sound because everyone's in their position. We're defending as a unit. When we get the ball, obviously we can spring forward and obviously do what we got to do. But for me, if you keep setting up like this against Liverpool, bro, or Man City,
you just said there, yeah. I think Ollie's trying to not appease the fans, but like you said, if Bruno drops in and then we become compact, people will then say why are we so defensive. So when you look at the screen, it looks like we've gone man for man for the back four. So Wan-Bissaka's got him, Bruno's got him, Greenwood's got him, Rashford's got him. But it's the defense. They need to push up as well. I think the fear is that if we push up, one ball in behind, Maguire and Lindelof ain't getting there. So it's like we're sitting deep, but we're trying to press high, which leaves the gap in the middle so big. So it's like
but that doesn't. What you're saying is probably factual because that's probably what Ollie's thinking, but it doesn't make sense. You can't. It's basic. Just think what that is, Jerry. that's like two teams are playing a different game of football.
Yeah, exactly.
We got the attackers playing one game of football,
and
which is trying to win the ball back as quick as you can, and we got the defenders playing a different game of football, which is don't let them hit the ball in behind.
That's it.
There's no cohesion. There's no unit. Yeah. You got to defend as a unit, and that includes all 11 players, which is why people are critical of Ronaldo because his defensive dues, etc. But my question to you, Alice, obviously, Jerry, we can take this down. My question to you is the centre backs, because obviously off the back of what Jerry just said there, which is probably factual as well in terms of, we've said consistently, all of us, when Varane comes in, it means Man United can play higher up the pitch. Are you concerned with Maguire? I mean, it's a bit of a stupid question almost, but are you concerned with Maguire and Lindelof at the moment, in particular against Liverpool's front line, because they're getting exposed left, right, and centre? What are your thoughts on our back line going into that one?
100%. We know that Lindelof and Maguire don't work. I mean, I want to see Bailly, not Lindelof, but we know we won't. The thing that I really saw was we played Fred and Pogba versus Wolves, and Varane and Maguire at the back got really, really exposed versus Wolves. But I'm pretty sure we won the game 1-0, didn't we? And we got a clean sheet versus Wolves.
Yeah,
yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And it was like Varane and Maguire had a lot to do because, to be fair, Wolves had as many attacking opportunities as Leicester in a weird way because Wolves absolutely outplayed us. Obviously, De Gea made some great saves and all that. But Varane and Maguire had a lot to do. And, even though they didn't get that McTominay, Fred basically sitting as another two centre-backs in front of them protection, they handled it well. Now, versus Leicester, we couldn't play McFred, so we went for Matic and Pogba. But because there's only got one CDM instead of two, and Pogba was trying to get forward, they didn't get protected. And, when Varane's there, I feel like they don't need that protection because Varane is such a good player. He's got the pace. But when Lindelof's there, they do need that protection. And I think against Liverpool, it's like, okay, the centre-backs are going to need that protection of McFred. But if they have that protection of McFred, we're just going to let their midfield dominate. And it's like, Liverpool, it's so hard because it's like, if you don't protect the centre-backs, Salah is going to rip them apart. But if you do, the midfield's going to have all that space to dominate. And I would love to see Ollie try something different, like something completely different. Because
that's tough,
I know he won't. But I say fuck the 4-2-3-1, get rid of it, give Bruno a rest because if he plays Bruno every game, Bruno's going to knock her out. And look, when you play against Liverpool and there's this much gap in the midfield, it's hard for Bruno to be effective against the Liverpool. I would generally go to a 4-3-3. Do you know what we did when Ollie was interim manager? So Matic does his role, put Donny in the Herrera role, because I think Donny's better defensively than McTominay, and I play Pogba box and give him a bit of free license. Because I think that three is a midfield, because with Bruno, you have to play a 4-2-3. And I love Bruno, he's our most important player, he's our best player. But actually, give him a rest, because Liverpool, I think, is about a midfield battle, and go with them in midfield. And I'd love to see Matic, Donny, Pogba, 4-3-3, because Donny and Pogba are a little bit better defensively than Bruno, so you have that defensive protection without actually having two centre backs in front of the other centre back. Do you know what I mean? That block of two CDMs, and have your fast wingers to expose Trent in behind. Because I think I was talking about this earlier. With Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robbo, they're going to push forward. Liverpool are going to fancy the win, and their fullbacks are going to push forward, and they are going to leave space in behind in a sense, but only if you move the ball quickly. And I would love to see Ollie go and play something different. I know he won't. I know there's no chance of it, but actually just do something just completely different, because what we're doing right now does not work. The 4-2-3-1, look for it, it does not work. And I feel like the way it's going, Atalanta, they're Leeds, I think it's an anomaly. I think we have to scrap what we've been doing all season and actually start something new. Because as Pogba says, something needs to change, attack needs to change. And Ollie won't change anything because he's stubborn, but I would do something completely different and take the risk.
Wow, Alice, that is very left field in the sense that, you said that you take Bruno out the firing line for this one. I mean, I can't see that happening at all. I'm pretty sure you can't either. But I do love that midfield three. I've said, me and Jerry probably agreed on this. Like, Matic, Van der Beek, and Pogba is our best midfield three. This isn't a discredit to Bruno because he's been good for us throughout his tenure at Manchester United. But as we've just gone through with that image, Bruno Fernandes is a massive issue at the moment defensively. And I know people won't see that, but he's allowing us to get bypassed very easily, as the image has quite clearly shown as well. He's out of position. He needs to play more central. I don't know if that's a coaching thing. I feel, as in that they're telling him to go there. So I don't know if it's actually his fault or it is his fault. We don't know. But yeah, for me personally, that would be a huge call. It would be very interesting to see how that would pan out. Of course, we still have control of the ball. As you said, Van de Beek does offer us something that Bruno doesn't, which is ball retention, which would be very important in that game. So yeah, that would be definitely a different dynamic. Obviously, Jerry, is quite clear you didn't agree with that.
Now, to be honest, I'm thinking now. Okay, I won't drop Bruno, but I'm thinking even maybe a diamond where he.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So basically, where he plays, but he can drift to the right as well. So if you've got Donny, Matic, and Pogba, and he's at the tip of the diamond, but he can also drift right as well because Robbo's gonna be bombing on that left hand side, and Bruno he does work hard. To be fair to him, but
yeah, he does.
I can't leave him out in this game, man, because Moments FC, we're gonna need him.
Yeah.
Yesterday he was having a terrible game. He gets 2 assists. I mean, the pass.
I don't think he had a terrible game. I know I was critical of him in the first half.
Not terrible game, but the passing was a bit risky, and he was losing the ball a lot of time.
I don't think he was phenomenal in the second half.
Yeah, second half.
He broke that record or something. Well, not. He was the first player to create 9 chances in the Champions League game since like 2003. Because to be fair, Fred and Rashford missed sitters. We actually did a bit.
Rashford in particular, should have had a hat-trick. Goals from Bruno. Ronaldo obviously missed that 1-1 as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Ronaldo missed that 1-1 as well. That was from Bruno as well. So he could have quite easily had 5 assists. But no, Jerry, I respect you for still saying it because obviously we know with this generation, someone says 2 assists. And the CEO, he must have had a good game, etc. So fair play to you, involved FC and all that. You're learning. I like it. But listen, obviously regarding the Liverpool game, just want to quickly get your thoughts regarding that. If you haven't already, make sure obviously keep getting comments in. Obviously slap a like, subscribe to the channel as always. Just keep supporting the channel, keep getting your comments in. I am reading your comments. There's a lot of discussion. Some of you going back and forth in the chat, which is good to see as well. You guys getting involved with each other as well, as always. That is the case in this channel. But I want to talk about Marcus Rashford, right? Because I've just gone on a stream prior to this video. I've basically gone on record, and don't laugh, but I've gone on record and said Man United winning this game on Sunday. And I've said it with chat.
Why would we laugh? No, bro. That's very capable.
No, because the reason I've said it, and I know it's a ridiculous opinion, but the reason I've said it is because Marcus Rashford, that is the reason. I've said he's going to be man of the match and he's going to be the difference. I just pray that he's not injured because obviously we know he went off with a dead leg from what has been reported. We don't know if he's going to make it back, if he's going to get rushed back, etc., etc. For me personally, Marcus Rashford plays this game, we win this game, and it's very simple on how we do it. Liverpool are going to leave a lot of space in the wide areas. As our listeners already alluded to, Robertson and Trent are going to try and get forward. That is what they do week in, week out. And look, they're top quality fullback. But for me personally, with the pace Rashford's got, they're going to struggle to get cover across. Trent pushes forward. They normally get a midfielder to cover it, be it Henderson, Fabinho, whoever's playing in the middle of the park. They normally come across and try and cover him. They're not going to be able to get across quick enough to cover Marcus Rashford because he's lightning quick. Secondly, Victor Lindelof as the quarterback is potentially could be very pivotal. Again, Liverpool play a high line. Rashford's timing of his run so far has been absolutely top draw. So for me personally, we need to get Rashford running in behind consistently. You saw against Atletico Madrid, Van Dijk was struggling against pace. Man was getting done by Griezmann every single opportunity. João Felix was twisting him up, and he was struggling. Trent, on the other hand, does going forward is fantastically well. Defensively, he's susceptible to on the counter attack. So for me personally, I think Rashford could be the key component. And I've actually got on record saying we're going to win this game 2-1, and he will be the man of the match. We have got a comment here saying, I hope Rashford is injured. So, oh my God, I didn't even read it. All right, I didn't even read the comment. I just read it out. James, come on, bro. None of that. Listen, I do not want to. I'm just going to make this clear because there's this myth going around that Osman Akhtar wants Man United to lose to Liverpool. Let me just make it clear. Let me just note it down so I can send this to everyone that keeps referring to me as some weird fan that I want Man United to lose to Liverpool. Never in a million years would I ever want that to occur. I do not care about Ollie's job I don't care if he stays for another 3 weeks. I do not want to lose to Liverpool ever. There's no way. But coming back to Marcus Rashford, Jerry, what are your thoughts, man? Can this guy be the difference in general? How are you feeling going into this game?
Yeah, look, I agree. He's not only hope, but he's going to be for any positive outcome of this game because without him, I don't know how we score. I mean, maybe we can, cross it for Ronaldo, but the runs in behind and the fact that he plays on the left, which is Trent's side, and obviously Matip because he's not the quickest. Obviously, Van Dijk can hold his own, but he plays on the left of the centre back. So Rashford, I mean, I think they're going to be more wary of Rashford than Ronaldo, to be honest. Because as soon as Rashford's going to be, obviously he makes the offside runs or whatnot, but as soon as certain players get the ball, Rashford's on his back and they can't afford to just leave him and play the high line because they know he's going to get in behind sooner or later. And his finishing, as much as people criticize it sometimes, I think, his numbers they're up there. So for me, Rashford is key. If Rashford doesn't play, I'm not confident this game, man. Obviously, Sancho, shout out to Big Run. I'm not sure. But Rashford has to play. Hopefully he's fit. And yeah, man, he's skinned Trent before. I know Trent's he probably won't even push up that much.
One more time,
He probably won't even push up as much, knowing that we have to protect that right hand side for them because Rashford is the main man. Liverpool. It's the defense for me, our defense, because Lindelof and Maguire with Salah's form at the moment, it's a bit scary. It's a bit scary. Luke Shaw, he hasn't had
he's going for a record as well. I believe he's currently on 9 goals in a row. I mean, it's an old comps, but he's absolutely fine. As he said, his record is a bit of a match. I just want to get this comment, Alice, before I come to you, because obviously the homie Chris, aka Football Agenda. Hi guys, I say that's a tactical thing regarding to obviously the formation. Ollie called it a 4-2-4. I think a few of us have been saying for a while Bruno makes it a 4-2-4. But Ollie to say that's the intention, that gap. And absolutely, of course, we can't afford that gap against Liverpool. Alice, what are your thoughts going into this one? What's the key battle for you?
I agree with a lot of what Jerry was saying regarding Marcus Rashford. And I tell you what, one thing I do not want to see is Pogba on the left to accommodate McFred. When you're playing Liverpool, and when
Pogba starts on the Rashford, wow.
I know, but when you're playing Liverpool, you don't want Paul Pogba on the left because if you're thinking like, where are we going to exploit Liverpool? It's going to be pacing behind, or it's going to be Rashford just skinning Trent again. Do you know what I mean? It infuriated me last season that we played Pogba on the left versus Liverpool because it didn't work because, Paul Pogba can play on the left when you need to break teams down. I feel like, but not when you want to counter-attack and hit players. And for me, it's really important that we have quick wingers because I know that Ollie's going to sit deep and it is going to be about the counter-attack. And for me, it's so important. I hope Rashford's fit because I said this before, I say it again. Rashford makes us a different team on the counter-attack. Yeah. Greenwood's good, Sancho's good, but they don't have that blistering pace that Rashford has, and they don't make the runs that Rashford makes. Yeah. We've seen in 2 games that Rashford's been in behind twice because he makes those runs. And a lot of people, because I think Rashford was really poor towards the end of last season, don't realise how good a fully fit Marcus Rashford is. Back in January, February time, Marcus Rashford had more open play goals and assists than Lionel Messi and Ronaldo, and obviously he really dropped off. If you look at the first 5 months of the season, only Haaland, Lewandowski, Bruno, Kane and Son had more open play goals and assists than Rashford for the first 5 months of last season, and then he dipped off. And he was partly injured for last season. His numbers are insane. Whether you like Rashford or not, whether he missed a few chances or not, he's got the same amount of goals as 100 million Jack Grealish this season, and Grealish gets way more chances because he plays in a system.
Yes, Alice, you tell him.
No one's going to talk about it. Rashford played less than 90 minutes, 2 goals. Grealish played 1,000 minutes, 2 goals. Rashford's playing for a worse team. No one will talk about it. Rashford is so good, especially when he gets in behind. We know what he can do to Trent. And if Rashford's injured, then I would play Martial on the left if he's fit. If Rashford's injured, because I think we need a chicken winger.
Today. I see the pictures. He's back in training still.
Interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I can't see him throwing Martial into, but I think it'll be Sancho on the left. But I think a lot of United fans seem to agree. Everyone seems to be saying the same thing regarding Rashford. That he's the most important player. Obviously, Chris, again, Rashford is the most important player with the way Ollie's set up. We have missed him a lot. Not an excuse, however, it should have found solutions. Absolutely. I like how you put the not excuse at the end. I like that, Chris.
Yeah.
Very cheeky. Listen, got a few questions here. Firstly, just quickly, big round, Usman, how is your throat? This is why I'm hosting, so I don't have to speak basically as much. But yes, it's getting better. The kids tried to kill me, but I'm surviving. I don't think Ronaldo scoring out my throat because I must have screamed last on. But it is what it is. Jameson, I'd rather lose one game, bro. I do not care about this one game loss for Oli to get sacked. I do not want to lose to Liverpool. End of conversation for me. Personally, this has been a comment that's been in the comment section throughout the show regarding Edison Cavani. I have mentioned Paul Pogba and the impact he had. We have spoken about other players, but Cavani also very integral to that comeback. Jerry, we'll come to you firstly. What are your thoughts on Cavani at the moment? Like, we kind of didn't even mention him. In terms of, if he's going to play. How does Cavani get into this team? Because he does seem to have a very positive influence when he started.
I don't know, man. Like, I think he affects the games when he comes on because, there's two problems to when you've got Ronaldo and Cavani. Like, even the Ronaldo goal, when Luke Shaw picks up that ball, there's like 4 men in the box. Normally, it's just Ronaldo there, and it's he's isolated. So, for him to start, maybe Cavani on the right. I'm not sure. I mean, he played that with PSG when Zlatan was up top.
Have you seen this one? Let's go back to 4-4-2, Ronaldo and Cavani. So.
Right.
I mean, it's better than the 4-2-4, so just throwing that out there.
Yeah. I'm not sure how he gets into the starting 11 right now, but he should be our go-to, sub because he's run, his pressing. I mean, he's vital for us, man. Like, Cavani should be our first sub. But starting, I don't really see how he starts in this team right now, which is unfortunate because obviously he signed that new 1-year deal, thinking, you lot begged me to stay, got the number 7, and then boom, Ronaldo comes. It's like But he looks down for the cause, man. I see him celebrating. He's there first to hug Ronaldo and all that stuff. So yeah, Cavani could be a key changer in the game on Sunday.
I mean, Cavani's always been a team player, man. If you go through, his career, the guy's always, putting his shit for teammates, etc. And he's always been very unselfish with the roles that he's adopted for Uruguay. Obviously, second fiddle to Suarez, of course, most famously second fiddle to Ibrahimovic. I mean Ibrahimovic, obviously. So he's always done that. So. For me, I'm not as worried about him because I think in terms of an impact, so as you kind of alluded to there, when he was on the pitch, right, I think of course, his movement's absolutely phenomenal, but the biggest positive was we started to crowd the box. Yeah. And that's when you create chances. There's a few occasions before before Cavani came on, if I'm not mistaken, where the ball there was a couple of decent balls at the box, and Greenwood's not in the box. Like, he's not back post. Like, you would normally affiliate. I'm trying to think of, like, for me personally, it's like one of the first things you learn as a winger. Like, if the guy from the left wing is crossing it, you have to be back post. I know Greenwood's not a winger by nature, but I would have thought that's been coached into him by now. Get into the box.
He's a striker, so
exactly. So it does surprise me. I thought that would be his second nature, get in the box and try and score. And that is something that I don't see enough of from Rashford and Greenwood. Although they offer a lot of positives in different areas, they don't seem to get in the box enough because that's an issue. Like you said, Ronaldo is isolated. So, Alice, the last question before we get a quick score prediction and all that good stuff is, how do we get the best out of Ronaldo? Do you think Ronaldo is the right man for this game? We just mentioned Cavani there as well. I won't say a lot of pressures on Ronaldo because this guy's always got pressure on him. But this is a big game for him. Obviously not just for Man United, but for Ronaldo. If he scores in this game, hypothetically, it's going to just completely silence the doubters. And this is a huge game. Van Dijk has been absolutely phenomenal. Do you think Ronaldo is the key? Not key, but do you think Ronaldo is the right person to lead the strike, so to speak?
I think you can't not play Ronaldo as good as Cavani's been. Cavani's a match winner, but Ronaldo's won us the last 2 Champions League games. Ronaldo got the winner, Ronaldo's a born winner. He's a born goal scorer. I think in terms of getting the best out of Ronaldo, we've got to play better football. I think if Ronaldo was in that Manchester City team, you look at, even when Man City lose, they create a lot of chances. He'd probably have 10 goals this season.
Yeah.
I think he's got 6, which is pretty decent, actually, 6 and 7. People won't talk about that, though. But like he's not been bad. And the one thing that really annoys me is first Lukaku was the problem, then Martial was the problem, and now Ronaldo's the problem. There's United fans out there that think, Ronaldo's the reason we've got worse this season, and they're the same people that would blame Martial we wouldn't win, And it's like, well, actually, if you think about it, you saying if we had Haaland and not Ronaldo, we'd win more games. No, I mean we wouldn't. It's the football we're playing, because it's always the striker that gets the blame at the end of the day. And maybe you've got to look at it and actually go, well, how much service he had, how much coach. Like, look at the coaching, look at what's happening around the striker. And I think Ronaldo's actually been good. I think he's had poor games, he's had good games, but the thing about Ronaldo is he can be quiet for 89 minutes, but if you give him that one chance, it would be clinical. 9 times out of 10, he's clinical. Give him a good header, give him a good pass, and he'll put it in the back of the net, and he can win games. And for me, you have to play him. And best header of the ball, as Chris's comment says there. I mean, we need to get better as well. And also, I think with Liverpool, I think set pieces and counter attacks are our best way of scoring. So hopefully we actually start looking good from set pieces as well.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what you said regarding the strikers, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, for me personally, that is my opinion. Also, I think the issue isn't the striker. As you mentioned, Martial, Lukaku, Cavani, now Ronaldo. A lot of people keep blaming them for their lack of goals, their goal return. Even in saying that, Ronaldo's actually got a good goal return, 6 and 8, or then you said 7, I might be 8, but either or, it's still a very good goal return given it's not Manchester United that are currently flying. He just needs to get service. I mean, Luke Shaw put an absolute peach of a crossing to win that game. Of course, it's not getting spoken about because rightfully so, Ronaldo gets the headlines, but that from Shaw and Wan-Bissaka and other wingers on the pitch, that was one good cross that he had the entire game, and he scores. I mean, we know the guy's got unbelievable leap on him, and the quality in terms of his accuracy with his heading, we know that. He just needs service, and this is what I keep banging on about. We need to make sure we're playing more fluid attacking football consistently, and that's when you see the best of attackers. In the final third, okay, granted, they played into a hand, as you mentioned, is similar to Leeds to an extent, but nevertheless, we were creating chances consistently, and players like Marcus Rashford, right, on a normal game, he might get 2 chances, and the first 2 chances in that game, he missed. He scored the third one. If he doesn't get that third chance, everyone's saying Rashford's a flop, Rashford's X, Y, and Z. Rashford's, he's washed, as people now say, if you have one bad game, so to speak. But he gets that third chance because we started to create more chances. The point is, if you're judging a player on one chance he gets a game, no one's ever going to be a good player because no one ever has 100% conversion rate. Oh my God, my cousin with another. Oh God! Right, thank you, Vez. Get on progress. We'll catch you in a bit, my guy. Thank you for the donation as always, my guy. It's weird because he's younger than me. I hate when you donate, but it's what it is. But yeah. So the point being is, we need to start creating more chances, and we need to get more people in the box. I think that's the main key, in particular in the Liverpool game, because their defense isn't fantastic. Like, obviously, it's branded as apparently it's the best defense in football history. But it's definitely gettable. Like, for me personally, we can definitely cause some problems. But listen, Jerry, just to finish, I just kind of want you to get your thoughts regarding the score prediction. Obviously, we've spoken a lot about different topics, etc. Bearing everything in mind, the Leicester game, the game against Atlanta, what you're saying for this game? We are at home, of course, just to reiterate that point.
Yeah, after last night, I'm more confident going to this game. Yeah, Liverpool are flying, but United, this is our first big test, of the season. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see how Ronaldo performs. Obviously, we played big games of the Champions League, but this is the biggest game of our season at home as well. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great game. To be honest, man, I'm looking forward to it. And regarding score prediction, I'm going to go for a 3-2 United, man. I think they're going to score. It's inevitable. Maybe Salah, whoever it is, Mane. We need the fullbacks to defend well. We need Luke Shaw to pocket Salah once again. Wan-Bissaka on the other side for Mane. It'll be interesting to see who plays up front for them, because if Firmino plays, then it's like he's going to drop. Does Maguire or Lindelof follow him and then leave the space in behind for the likes of Salah, Mane to run into? But yeah, it's going to be, I think, back and forth. And, we just got to make sure we take our chances. We will get chances against them 100%. So, Yeah, I'm going 3-2 United, man. We need that W because people say we're in a crisis.
Jerry, come on!
But if we win, what? We're 1 point behind the almighty Liverpool.
Jeez, the positive vibes.
Yeah, I'm going 3-2. 3-2
You love
United.
to see it. Listen, I just want to get this comment up before we come to you, Alice. Alice is probably thinking these guys are high, both of them. They think that we're going to win. But I like this comment because it's obviously a quote. Genghis Khan said that art of attack lies with defense. We cannot play out from the back unless it's sure or matted, predictable to counter against. I mean, that's definitely a factual point. Obviously, we know that we're very predictable in the manner in which we proceed from A to B, i.e. the defense to attack. But listen, we've got Ali at the wheel, so I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, my brother. But thank you for the quote. Alice, over to you. Obviously, you know what I've said already. I'm just going to quickly say that we're going to win 2-1. Obviously, if you're just tuning in, right, and you listen to two Man United fans predict that they're going to win, I can assure you that, and me personally, I'm speaking from my heart. Can't speak on Jerry's behalf, but I do think. No. I'm gonna caveat it, but I do definitely think we can definitely get at them. I don't think this Liverpool team's as good as people are making it out to be. In particular, the defense, the midfield at the moment for Liverpool isn't really fully fit. So I don't understand why we're fearing them. I'm only fearing one guy in their team, that's Salah. The rest of the team, for me, I'm not really that worried about. Obviously, they can cause us problems, but if we can keep Salah quiet, which shows in the past, I don't see why we can't win this game. Because for me, you're a one-man team at the moment, to be quite frank and honest with you. Without Salah, you're nothing at the moment. But yeah, Alice, over to you. What are your thoughts?
You see, this is the thing with Man United, is it's so hard to predict because it could be an absolute brilliant masterclass by Ollie, or it could be an absolute shit show. You don't know. I remember we just lost 2-1 to Sheffield United and we were going to play Man City next. And Man City had won 22 games in a row. And we went to the Etihad and we absolutely outplayed Manchester City. Could have won that game 3 or 4-0. We made Diaz look like a championship defender. Martial didn't score there, but he had a masterclass. And the thing about United is, I'm not convinced by the Atalanta win because Atalanta are a bit like Leeds. And we have been shocking all season. But I think a game like Liverpool, it's more of an occasion. It's not always about form. It always reminds me of like a knockout game where it's not about form. It's Man U, Liverpool, that both teams are going to be up for it in a sense. And it really, really depends. I think it really depends on the lineup. Is Rashford available? How we approach the game and stuff. I mean, there's no way we're keeping a clean sheet in this game. Liverpool have scored 3+ goals in their last 8 away games. Absolutely mad. There's no way we're keeping a clean sheet, especially without Varane, with how poor we've been defensively. But I just don't know, because it could be just one of those games where we absolutely blow them out of the park and we could win like 3-1. Or it could be one of those games where we could literally bottle it like 4-1, be absolute like Leicester. But I would never bet against Man United. I'm not going to bet against Man United. And I'm going to go, I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. But I don't think Liverpool's defence is as good as people think. I think there's going to be opportunities. And I'm going to go 2-2 draw.
Jeez. So basically, we're undefeated on our channel right now. All three of us are predicting at least not an L, basically. We know what? As long as we don't, I know it's such a negative mindset. And people are saying, what's man, what you on about? As long as we don't lose, I'm sorry, I'll take it. Because I don't want to lose to these guys. If we lose to these lot, I'm going to be so upset. Like, this game means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Like, I can't stand their fans. I mean, I hate their fans, let's be real. I can't stand their club. I mean, I hate the club as well. And I can't stand the fact that they're actually doing fairly well. They could potentially beat them for the title. We need to take some kind of points of them. So, yeah, for me personally, Alice, I hear what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. But hopefully, Jerry is right. Because Jerry said with chairs, you love to see it. We're going to finish on a positive note. Yes, a positive. No, this isn't some delusion because we're being Atlanta, we're back. No, none of that. Listen, it's a one-off game. It's a derby of all derbies. Anything can happen. There's been numerous occasions where I've gone to when I've gone into a game thinking there's no way Man United would lose this game, and we've ended up losing and lost convincingly. Look at small teams like Arsenal winning the FA Cup and take a bit of inspiration. Anything can happen on the day. But anyways, we're gonna leave you on that. If you haven't already, make sure you slap a like. Subscribe to the channel. Jerry's put that comment up there. You love to see it. But listen, we'll finish on that positive. Let's get this one in. Yeah, Alice, got me thinking. I think we can get entertaining draw. I think 2-2 seems realistic. Make sure you slap a like, subscribe to the channel. As I've said at the start of the show, everyone's links are down below. If you like what you heard from Jerry and Alice, make sure you subscribe to their channel. Jerry, first and foremost, over to you, my brother. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, Twitter on the screen, and United Team Talk on YouTube, and obviously the lovely Osman Talks United.
Yes, obviously my co-host every Thursday. That is a new thing that we are doing. I mean, it was inevitable, it was going to happen, but we finally got a date down. So me and Jerry will be doing this every single Thursday, hopefully with Kojo as well. But Alice, thank you for being our special guest. Absolutely fantastic as always. I'm a huge fan of your content, as you know. I'm watching practically every video. But Alice, in case they don't know, let the people know where they can find you.
Type in Alice Talks Football on TikTok and YouTube, you'll find me, and then Alice Talks Footy on Twitter, you'll find me on there. Cheers, having me, Usman.
Absolute pleasure, Alice. You know it's always a pleasure. Make sure you follow everyone's socials. That is also down below. Again, just go and show love. If you're supporting my content, make sure you support these guys as well. They're basically family. But apart from that, it's been your boy, man. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you slap like, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this on repeat, get your score predictions in. I think Chris actually thought we're going to lose 2-1. Chris, I did see it, but I deliberately didn't put it on the screen because people all predicted us not to lose. So shout out to Chris as well. Shout out to Eddie. Shout out to every single one of you that's in the comments. We appreciate you guys. And we'll be back tomorrow. I don't even know what day of the week is. Yeah, back tomorrow, Friday, 8 o'clock. Steve and the rest of the gang will be predicting the weekend results, including Jerry. So it's been your boy.